Hi, welcome to this little webinar on foundational literacy in the Focus on Threes curriculum. My name is Magina Baker. I am the Director of Teaching and Learning at Neighborhood Villages, which is an organization in Boston that's partnered with the Boston Public Schools to co-construct the Focus on Threes curriculum. Today, we're going to talk about what foundational literacy is in Focus on Threes. Why do we do it? How do you do it? When do you do it? Where can you find the lessons and materials you need? And what foundational literacy looks like in action. So foundational literacy in Focus on Threes includes two parts. There are whole group experiences where we use the Hegarty Phonological Awareness curriculum. That happens for just a short time. It's 6 minutes long and happens 3 times a week. Then there's also skills reinforcement that is integrated into center time. And we'll talk about both of those today. Why we're doing this, I want to just give you a little timeline about some developments that have happened in the BPS curriculum and professional development since 2018. So, and you've probably, many of you experienced this yourselves, but back in 2018, Foundations was integrated into the focus curricula and a focus on systemic functional linguistics writing in the K2 through 2nd grade curricula. Over time, decodable texts have also been integrated into the pre-K curriculum, and there was a CLSP audit resulting in more enabling texts. The Universal Literacy Screener has been added for the district. And then as we're moving forward in time, Hegarty was added last year, 2021, to focus on K1, an expanded focus on equity and literacy-focused coaching, more revisions to the curriculum, focusing on culturally linguistic and sustaining practices, and also a submission to Ed Reports to review the curriculum. And the letters training was also offered in the district for the first time. And if we had another little extension here, we'd add in 2022, the introduction of the Focus on Threes curriculum with the Hegarty component integrated from the beginning. We also have a focus on equitable literacy in the Boston Public Schools that you've likely seen before. This is a district-wide approach to literacy instruction to center the needs of students who are often underserved, calling on adults to uncover, name, and address biases that can limit student access to grade level content, and utilizing 5 research-based practices to support every learner. So equitable literacy in BPS is a commitment to enacting research-based literacy practices that provide students who have been historically marginalized access to powerful literacy experiences. And these 5 research-based practices you see in this wheel here. Today, we are focusing on this piece in the red circle, explicit and systematic instruction in the function of language. And that comes along with daily work with complex texts, intentional knowledge and language activation across disciplines, daily work with enabling texts, and explicit research and text-based disciplinary writing. And yes, these things do happen even with 3-year-olds. They're not too young to experience interesting, engaging, and enabling texts. And they're not too young to have some explicit and systematic instruction in the function of language. We will do that in a playful and developmentally appropriate way. All of this work is based in research, and I'm just going to show a few highlights from what is a very large body of research about early literacy. This work is called the Active View of Reading and is developed by Nell Duke, who builds on a couple of long established frameworks for thinking about foundational literacy, the Scarborough's rope, as well as the simple view of reading. And what's new in this research from Nell Duke is an acknowledgement of the importance of culture and culturally linguistic and sustaining practices in literacy instruction and children's experiences, as well as this idea that children have to have self-regulation motivation, and an ability to put into practice strategies that they need to learn to be readers and writers. In our work in what we're doing today, we're focusing on this idea of phonological awareness and also strategies that can help children develop into readers and writers. This is another classic study that underpins why we're focusing on foundational literacy. So we know that the most powerful predictors of later reading and writing skills are those requiring phonological awareness, specifically the analytic ability to manipulate phonemes and words. And if you're not familiar with that term, phonological awareness, it means the awareness of and ability to work with sounds in words. We also know from Louisa Moat's work that every level of word reading and spelling depends on having an awareness of phonemes, or the small parts of words. And also having a mental image of phonemes helps to, it's almost like Velcro, to match graphemes, or the way that alphabet letters look in written language. And if a child doesn't have complete phoneme awareness, if it's inaccurate, if it's not really all together, then it's very hard for them to anchor or map on written words when they begin to read. So you'll notice that the work we're doing in the 3-year-old curriculum is almost entirely verbal. It's an auditory. It's focused on the sounds in words. And as they grow and move into the 4-year-old and kindergarten curricula, they'll build in more focus on written language as well. But this work that we do for the 3s really lays a foundation for them being able to hear and say and manipulate sounds in words. So for the 3-year-old curriculum, we're using the Hegarty Early Pre-Kindergarten Phonological Awareness Curriculum. It comes in a book that looks just like that. If you don't have one already, you can work with your program, or I'll give you a contact later in the session, so you can reach out if you need the book. And what the Hegarty curriculum focuses on is a scoped and sequenced curriculum that focuses on 5 phonological awareness skills: rhyme, initial phoneme isolation, blending, segmenting, and final phoneme isolation. And there are also 2 early literacy skills that are addressed: alphabet knowledge and language awareness. Now, I know I said a minute ago that the curriculum mostly is verbal and auditory, but we do a little bit of looking at alphabet letters. It's a small component just to build children's familiarity with that. Okay, so how do you do it? For the whole group components, which remember happen 3 times a week and are just very short, they're 6 minutes long or less. You need a whole group space. You'll gather the class in most cases. You need a joyous disposition or playful mindset. You'll need the Hegarty teacher guide. There it is right here. And you'll need an ABC letter chart hung near your whole group space. And you could use any kind of letter chart for this. If you have a Foundations letter chart, that's great, because that's something that children will see repeatedly as they move up to the older grades. But you can use any kind. The one I'm going to be using today is a very simple one that I just wrote out myself with just the uppercase letters. You can use one with uppercase and lowercase. And you'll also need some ABC letter cards. Again, the ones I'm using today are super simple, but we do recommend you have something that has a picture as well. There's a set that comes with Foundations that you can use, or you can create your own with your class. Oh, so we're going to try it out right now. And I'm going to get out of my screen share for a minute so I can actually do a little Hegarty lesson with you right now. So I'm going to be the teacher for a few minutes, and you listening in can be one of the children and join in, participate as if you were a child. I've brought along my little helper, Penguin. You might want to have a little stuffed animal or a puppet that you use during your foundational literacy lessons. It can build some playfulness and also is a good signal to the children about what you're about to do. And I'm also going to start with a little song to signal that we're going to play. Okay. Hi, Penguin. We're going to do our playing with words now. It's time to play with words. It's time to play with words. Find your seat and sit right down. It's time to play with words. Penguin, what are we going to do first today? Oh, we're doing a listening game. Okay, so I'm going to say a sound, and then you are going to say if it sounds the same or different from another sound. Ready, Penguin? Penguin's ready. Okay, here we go. And is it the same or different? Penguin says it's the same. That's it, Penguin. Sound the same. Okay, here's a tricky one. Same or different? Different. Exactly. Penguin got it. Did you get it? Here's another one. Same or different? Different. Exactly. You're very good at this. All right, next game. This is a rhyming game. I will say 2 words that rhyme or sound the same in the middle and the end of the word. And then you say the words back. Here we go. Knock, sock. Your turn. Great. Okay, they sound the same in the middle and the end. Knock, sock. All right, here's another one. Huff, puff. Your turn. Great. One more. Hem, gem. Your turn. Gem. Those words rhyme. They sound the same in the middle and the end. Great. Okay, now I'm going to say a sound, and you're going to say the sound. Then I'll say the sound and a word that starts with that sound, and then it's your turn. Here we go. The first sound is huh. Your turn. Great. Now I'm going to say a word that begins with that sound. Peach. Great. Here's another one. Pin. Your turn. Pin. Awesome. One more. How. Your turn. How. Those words all started with the sound. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to blend some words. Penguin, you're going to sit right here and help me. Right there's Penguin. Okay, so we're going to say 2 small words and smush them together, blend them to make a big word. Corn, cob, corn cob. You do it. Corn, cob, corn cob. Another one. Corn, field, cornfield. Your turn. Corn. Great. One more. Corn, bread, cornbread. Your turn. Corn. You put 2 small words together to make a big word. We blended. Oh, now it's time to sing our alphabet song. Penguin, will you help us? Oh, thank you. All right, here's our alphabet chart. And then we're going to sing our song and point to the letters while we sing. Penguin, you're going to use your flipper to point. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Thank you, Penguin. We pointed to all our letters. Another day you could do that with the alphabet cards, but today we did it with the chart. Oh, we have one more game to play. We're going to do a rhyme. And it's called Pat a Cake. So Penguin, you can watch him right here. And you can just sing along, or you can listen, or you can clap along. Here we go. Pat a cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it and prick it and mark it with a B and put it in the oven for baby and me. That's it. Penguin, we're all done playing with words for today. Thank you, Penguin. Goodbye. And if your name rhymes with or sounds like Penguin, you can go right over and wash your hands for snack. Okay, I wish I had like a little, end cut. So that's basically what a Heggerty, a whole group lesson looks like. Thank you for bearing with me, doing that without any children. But you got a sense of sort of the pacing, how long it takes, the materials you need. And all I was doing is following along in the Heggerty guide. I just had it propped up in front of me. So I hadn't memorized anything. You don't need to do that. You'll have the guide right with you. That's what it feels like. I'm going to go back to the slides now and talk a little bit about the skills reinforcement component of the curriculum. So like I said earlier, reinforcing those skills that children are learning during the explicit instruction in whole group, we have to give them opportunities to play with those ideas and those skills while they're doing something that they choose to do, right? They didn't choose to all come sit on the rug and listen to you, although we can definitely make it playful with having a little friend who helps. We can sing songs, we can incorporate a movement break, but we know that that's asking a lot of 3-year-olds to come to that kind of a whole group experience. So what we also do is during center time every week, we have opportunities to reinforce those skills. And what I'm showing you here is an example of the skills reinforcement guidance that's provided with every unit of Focus on 3s. You can find this. I'm going to actually show you where to find it on the website at the end. But what you get is you get this kind of document for every unit. And then there are also cards that come along with each week of the curriculum. You'll find these, you can cut them up on these lines. Some people like to put them on a little ring like this. And then you can carry your little skills cards along with you as you're supporting and facilitating learning in centers. So I'm just going to demonstrate how this might work with this activity called Hands in Play-Doh. This learning experience happens in Unit 1, Week 1, and all children need for that is some Play-Doh. So imagine you're walking over to the Play-Doh table. Children are playing with the Play-Doh freely. They get to decide how to use it. They're doing what they're doing. So maybe you walk over and you see a child is rolling a ball. There you go. You've got an opportunity to do some rhyming there. You could say, wow, look at that. You've got a ball. What rhymes with ball or sounds like ball? Mall, ball, doll, ball. What else do you think rhymes with ball? And you're doing that in a pretty informal way while the children are playing. Or let's say a child is pressing the Play-Doh. Same thing. You could say, oh, look at that, press. Press rhymes with dress. Press rhymes with mess. And then the children are having a chance to hear that idea of rhyming while they're playing. You could also do some initial phoneme isolation here, like roll. Hear that first sound in the word roll? Or pat. You say it. Pat. Oh, you might even have a chance to do some blending like we were just doing before. Oh, you're playing with Play-Doh. That's 2 little words. We can put them together and make a big word. Play-Doh, Play-Doh. And it's through this kind of reinforcement that those skills you're teaching in the whole group time really come to life for the children, because they're then hearing those same ideas while they're playing with something that they've chosen to do, that they're getting a lot of joy from doing. Okay, I'm gonna put away my Play-Doh. If you have somebody there with you and you want to pair up and try that out, you have somebody pretend to play and you pretend to be the teacher, you can go ahead and pause the video and give that a try using the suggestions on the support cards. If you don't right now, I'm going to go ahead and move on and just wrap up by showing you where you find all these pieces of the curriculum. So one resource I want to flag for you is that if you scan this QR code with your phone, just take a picture of it, it'll pop up a little box. You can get access to videos, tutorial videos that Heggerty has produced that show all the different hand gestures that come along with the curriculum. There's a few different things that you do as the curriculum progresses. Today I did some blending words using that hand gesture. You'll move on in the curriculum. There'll be some syllable blending and there's some segmenting, pulling apart different sounds and words. And there's different recommended hand gestures for those. So take a look at those videos. As I mentioned, you'll also find foundational literacy guidance under each unit. I'll walk you through and show you how to find that now. And if you have questions about anything I've talked about today, our contact for foundational literacy is Unicia Young. This is her email right here. Please reach out if you have any questions about materials or you want to get additional support on the curriculum. There are some additional PD opportunities coming up, and Unicia is the one to ask about that. So let me just, I'm going to stop my share for a moment, and I'm going to go into showing you where to find those curriculum materials. Let's see. Okay, thanks for bearing with me for a second. All right, so here I am on the curriculum webpage, the Focus on 3s webpage. So if you look down, you'll see you can find each of the units here. And under each unit, if you click on Foundational Literacy Guidance, that's where you'll access this document, which describes what weeks of the Heggerty curriculum we are aligning with for each unit. You'll see the different skills that are being focused on during that unit, and then a week-by-week breakdown of how you can do that skills reinforcement during centers. So you'll see each center learning experience has a set of recommendations. There are also some suggestions for transition times where you can integrate those foundational literacy skills, like, as you're leaving whole group to go to lunch or you're heading outside. You'll see some of them are written in, and there are other opportunities to add your own ideas. So that's the foundational literacy guidance for the unit. Also, if you go, now I'm back on the Focus on 3s webpage. If you go to any of the weeks, each week of the curriculum also has those support cards. So if you click there, you'll have a chance to download those cards that you can, again, put on that little ring and have available to you as you support children during center time. So thank you so much for joining today. I hope you got a good start to thinking about foundational literacy in the 3-year-old curriculum and why it's really important for 3-year-olds that we provide this foundation to hearing and playing with sounds and words. Thank you so much.